hear the disappointment in his voice. It's one loss. It was a one-goal loss. You had lots of chances to, tie or maybe even win that game. But you turn the page for now, for sure, for today. But how important is it to have that kind of emotion from the players after winning 11?
Yeah, I think guys certainly have become accustomed to winning. I think everybody wanted to get to 12. We felt that was a game that we had a lot of opportunities where we could have won that. Saros, I still don't know how we saw some of them that we fired at them, and we had a lot of opportunities to either to tie it or to win that game. But it is what it is, and I think that the guys really felt like we could have kept this going, and that's great. That's part of our group. They're still hungry to win hockey games. We're not taking things for granted, and but at the same time, we've done a really good job in the past of now that's done, that's over. Now we got to worry about the Flyers.
And there is sometimes a tendency after a long run for a little bit of a hiccup, but with the consistency that your team has played with this year, I don't want to say bulletproof, but do you feel that this team's maybe less likely to have that happen to them than?
Yeah, I think you learn lessons along the way. I think that we've also responded, different ways, even if it wasn't coming off of a long extended streak of wins. When you lose hockey games, it's making sure that you get back to doing what you have to do to win. I think that we're seeing 5 teams from the East, 2 teams on this stretch that we haven't seen all year long, and we're in March, being the Flyers and the Devils. So it's a good reset for us. And it couldn't be even a better one. Flyers, they work hard. They work their tails off, and it'll be one of these games that we come home here, and before we take off, we got to take care of business.
Going through the trade deadline on a good team like this, talking to some of the players, and there's some anticipation, what you guys might do. Compare going through it as a player to a coach.
I think there's 2 sides of it. If you're not having a very good season as an individual or as a team, you probably there's all kinds of speculation going on. Usually when you do have a good team, you're probably looking for depth. You're not looking for the blockbuster. I think that everybody, I wouldn't say excited about it. There's lots of players sometimes that are worried, but at the same time, I think it's just part of the business that you get used to. I think that this year to me is different because there's so many teams that are still in the hunt, specifically in the East. I thought last year there was more trades maybe that happened last week that I got ahead of the deadline. So this one's kind of funny. It just kind of seems like everybody is still maybe uncertain what they want to do here. I'm talking more about more teams. There's way more teams that, kind of just, are we in? Are we going to be out? So I think that everybody just, as players, as coaches, you're watching the league, kind of seeing maybe there's some healthy scratches all of a sudden happening, but I think it'll happen starting today, moving in the rest of the week, that things will start to shift.
For a good team like yours, is there an argument to be made for standing pat, or is that not trying?
I think that just Chevy. The one thing about Chevy, they do their homework, and we're gonna take this right to the 3:00 in the East, to see what's available. Because if you have a chance to make yourself a little bit better, then you need to do that. Well, that means us standing pat, and that's also, as we've sort of shown all year long, we're a good hockey team. So that'll be the big part of the decision making when we get to that moment, 3:00 on Friday.
The power play's in a bit of a dip in terms of the production. Maybe our standards are too high given how excellent it's been, but what have you seen from them over this last 3 or 4 game stretch?
The Ottawa game wasn't crisp, we didn't do a lot of what we needed to do. I thought in Nashville we did, and like I said, Saros made some big stops. We had some great looks. Casey, he got 3 quality. So at the end of the day, we talk about it. I talked to the group about the fact that early in the year, our structure, how we were going to win hockey games. I had mentioned to you guys that you're going to get in the middle of February and you're going to be on a tough road trip. You're going to be playing a lot of games, and you need your penalty kill to step up, or you need your power play to step up. And the other night was actually one of those where we could have won the game. We gave up a PK goal. We gave up, we didn't score on our power play. That might have been the chance for us. And that's the first time all year I could say that, because I really felt that our specialty teams have been really good. We talked about what gives us success, and the two things that jump out at me are our work ethic, our compete. Our penalty kill outworks the power play, our power play outworks the penalty kill, and the other side is our details. When our details are real good. And so for us to look at it the last 5 or 6 games, are those two things being a part of either the success or maybe it not working? And we've done a pretty good job on that. And when we go back to those things, we get ourselves up and running again. This is the type of stuff that happens, like I said, all year long. We build towards things that are going to happen after game 83 or at game 83. We could get in a game 4 of a playoff series and the same thing has happened. Have we been through it before? How did we handle it? How do we get ourselves out of it? And so that's part of what we're doing right now.
What have you thought of Logan Stanley's play over the last, since returning back from the break?
Yeah, you know what? Stan's been good. I think that, obviously we made the switch to the back-to-back games, the crazy travel, getting in late, Nashville throwing in, Fleur in there. But I wanted Fleur to get in the game as well. Him having to shift over to the right side, that's a tough, especially it's a big thing for him. But at the end of the day, I think he's handled it well.
Just one more on the penalty kill. Over this 11-game streak, it actually seemed to be kind of a strength of your guys' attack and whatnot. What did you see from them? Is there any shift from before the year, or any improvements that you guys saw?
We've done, certainly not really going to express what it is we've done. There's things that we've kind of tinkered with and changed, as just like we have with the power play. So we've tried some different bodies, some different personnel as well. Plus we had some injuries, people being out. But the other night in Ottawa, third period, our penalty kill saved our butt there. That was a huge kill for us late in the game to make it leave it at 3-1. And so those are, there's things that I really like about our PK. It was new to a lot of guys, kind of how we went about things in October, November, but I think we've grasped it. I thought that, we made a turnover the other night against Nashville, which is not really us, but at the end of the day, I like a lot of what we're doing.
Where can Morgan Barron have his biggest impact in returning to the lineup, Scott?
You know what? He's a guy that certainly has size, power. He's a big power forward. He's responsible without the puck. He's heavy on the forecheck. You can use him on the penalty kill. He's just a guy you're comfortable with as a coach. You know what you're kind of going to get every night. We missed his size. I mean, Gus did a great job coming in with all those injuries that we had at that time. But Bear's he's been here. He knows how we play, and we need his need his play.
Just on Cole Perfetti. At this time last year, he was in the middle of a long goal drought, in and out of the lineup in the press box. You've talked a lot about how much he's grown on a game-to-game basis, but from this time last year to this time this year, he's got 12 points in his last 11 games. How much growth have you seen from him?
Yeah, and that's part of a young player figuring the NHL out and figure out how to play in the NHL on a consistent basis. That you go through those experiences, kind of like what I just talked about, power play, penalty kill for the playoffs. It's you go through experiences and you either learn from them or you don't. And Cole's learned from them, and he really has. And he's recognizing not to be so hard on himself, that to continue to put the work in, and the results will be there.